How's it going, everyone? It's Caleb Lumity here, and today we are going to be talking about winter games on the Atari 2600. Now, winter games is the perfect game for this time of year. Obviously, it's called Winter Games. It's winter. It's perfect for that. It's a perfect game for Christmas time. It is a bunch of different Winter Olympic events put onto a cartridge and basically put out as a mini game compilation. And a lot of the mini games are actually pretty good in this, and I actually enjoy a lot of the mini games. So we're going to go through each mini game in this, talk about them one by one, and we're going to talk about which ones I like and which ones I could have done without. So let's go ahead and just dive right into it. Now, some of these mini games I may mispronounce the names on because, frankly, I don't watch the Olympics. I've never been a fan, really, of the Olympics, so you'll have to forgive me for that. But let's go ahead and dive right into it with the first one, which is slalom skiing. Slalom skiing is basically checkpoint skiing. You start up the top of a hill, and you are sliding down a hill, and you are trying to go through all the checkpoints. And the checkpoints are marked with two flags, and you need to go in between the two flags. And there's multiple checkpoints on the hill, and you basically have to go through each one. And if you miss them, it will penalize you. So you're trying to get down the hill as quick as you can, and it's going to take your time at the end of it. It's going to show how quick you get to the bottom of the hill, and then it's going to penalize you, and it will add every single checkpoint that you missed to your time. So you'll get penalized for all of those checkpoints that you missed, and it may look like you get down the hill pretty quick, but once all those penalties come into play, it may not go in your favor too well. So I actually do like this mini game, though. I think it plays pretty well. You can get stuck on some of the checkpoints every now and then, like you'll run into the pole, and it takes your character a second to get off of the pole and stuff. But overall, I still think that it controls pretty well, and it plays pretty well. I enjoy this one. I think this is probably one of the better mini games in this whole compilation. Next up, let's talk about the bobsledding one. We're going to talk about bobsledding because this one is probably my favorite one. I would say I like the idea of this one. We're going to talk about bobsled, and we're also going to be talking about one called luge, which is pretty similar. So the whole point of these two mini games is you are sliding down this gigantic blue slide, and there's a lot of twists and turns on these ones. On the bobsled one specifically, you're trying to get down as quick as possible. You're trying to avoid getting up onto the snowy areas, because if you get up onto the snowy areas, it will slow you down. So you're trying to stay in the center of this, and you're just trying to go as quick as possible. And I feel like you have a little bit less control in the bobsled one. In the luge one, you have brakes, and you can brake a lot easier in the luge one. So in that one, you're going to be using your brakes around a lot of these turns because they get chaotic. There's like some really crazy, tight, twists and turns, and you're going to have to be using that brake a lot to get through them. So that is something that I do enjoy, but it definitely is a little bit harder than the other one. But I like them both. I think both mini games are actually really well designed, and I really enjoy them. The one thing about crashing in either of them, it does look kind of funny because it flips your your sled over, and it looks funny on the Atari. If it was real life, it would be disastrous. But on the Atari, seeing this little 8-bit pixel man flip over is kind of funny. But still, I enjoy this game. I think it's pretty fun, so I like both of those mini games as well. Another one that I want to talk about is speed skating. Speed skating is okay. It's nothing great. You're basically just moving the joystick back and forth against a computer character, and you're trying to beat a computer character in a skating race, and that's all it is. It's ice skating. It's not great. It's not terrible. It's just okay. It's kind of hard, but it's still enjoyable, so I do like that one. The PC kicks my butt almost every time, but I still enjoy it for what it is. Next up is one that I actually think is really cool. It's the biathlon. Now, I wasn't really familiar with this. Again, I don't watch anything Olympics, so I'm new to a lot of this stuff. But apparently the biathlon is an event where they mix skiing with target shooting. So it's up to you to ski down to a certain point on the level. You ski down there, and you basically do that by just rotating the joystick. You have to rotate the joystick at a certain speed, and your character will start moving. And once you get down to the checkpoint area, it will show 5 targets in front of you. And you'll have this black dot that will go over the target, and you have to press the black dot at the right time, and that is basically simulating your gun. That's basically where your gun is aiming, and you're trying to shoot the targets. Now, I will say, it's not very accurate. It's like sometimes the black dot will be perfectly on the target, and you'll press the fire button, and it still will miss. So, it's not perfect. It is a cool idea, though. And the sound design is actually really good for it. I think the sound design is probably the best sound design in the game on this specific one. You know, the sound design can be a little bit hit or miss in this game, but this one specifically, it sounds really, really good. I also like that you have to reload every time you shoot. So you shoot your bullet, you actually have to reload by moving around your joystick, and you can reload your bullet before you shoot the next target. So I actually thought that was pretty cool as well. And if you do miss the target, it does penalize your time, so keep that in mind. Let's talk about a minigame that sucks. How's about we do that? Let's talk about ski jumping. Ski jumping is probably the worst minigame in the entire collection. This is the only one that I would say is absolutely bad. So if you've ever heard of the game Top Gun, I've never played Top Gun, but I've heard a lot of people talk about it. They always say the worst part about that game is the landing sequence. I've never played it, but I can feel those people's pain now that I have played this. Because trying to land on the ski jumping minigame is a nightmare. You're trying to balance your character, and you have to use the joystick to balance not only the character, but also the skis. So depending on the direction you move it, your skis are moving one direction, and then your character's moving the other direction, and you have to try to balance it, and it's such a pain in the butt. It's not very well made. It's annoying, and like some of the other mini games are hard, but they're still fun. This one's hard, and it just kind of sucks, and I think it's partially just because the controls are kind of bad for this mini game. So not a fan of that one. Could have done without that one, but is what it is. It's here. It sucks. What can you do? And then last but certainly not least, Hot Dog. Really strange name for a minigame, but that's what it's called. It is Hot Dog. It's basically doing tricks. You're doing tricks on skis. So you do a gigantic ramp, and then you can move your joystick in different directions, and depending on the direction that you move the joystick, your character will start doing tricks. So you can do backflips, you can do spins. If you press the fire button, I believe you can do like 180s and stuff, so that's pretty cool. You know, you can do just a bunch of different tricks in the air, and then they will give you a grade based off of your tricks. So that's actually pretty cool. Really like that one. That actually, I'm trying to decide if that's... I really like that one. I don't know which one's my favorite minigame. I really like the bobsledding and the luge one. I really like the biathlon, and I really like this one. Those are probably like my 4 favorite. So overall, though, this does have quite a few good mini games on it. It's a pretty fun game. It's perfect for wintertime. You know, you get all those different snow levels. It's during the Winter Olympics, so of course you're going to get all those different snow levels. In terms of its graphics, it's not a bad-looking game. It's not the greatest-looking game in the world either. There's better-looking Atari games on the system, but at least it doesn't look like Pac-Man, right? Like, that's the least you can ask for, and it accomplishes looking better than Pac-Man, so I'm going to give its graphics a pass. I think that looks fine for what it is. It definitely feels very wintry, which is the whole point of the game, so that's what matters, right? Overall, though, Winter Games is a really fun game, and I'm very happy that's in my collection. I picked it up for about $5, and I'm pretty happy with it at that price. I wouldn't spend more than like $10 on it, but if you can find it for under $10, definitely, I say pick it up and add it to your collection if you're looking for a good game to play around wintertime. This is a perfect game for the season, and I'm really glad. Like I said, I'm really glad to have it in my collection. I think $5 was definitely fair for it. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit the like button, subscribe button down below, and go check out Winter Games on the Atari 2600. I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye-bye.